My data just ran out.
Here, you can use my phone.
Thank you. Come on, man. My data finished again.
Relax, honey. You can always use mine.
Wait, how come you always have so much data?
I told you I switched to Tele mobile postpaid plans. Those plans come with plenty of data, so I will never run out of data again.
Okay, well, why don't you come over here and show me more about these plans? Because I'm about to switch to Telem data now.
Welcome to the Late Night Show. Hope everything is okay. Hope everything is all right. I'm your host, Andrew Dick. Okie dokie, kids, what's happening on the lovely island of St. Martin? We begin with Hello Waldo. We found him. We were looking for Waldo. We finally found Waldo. You don't know where Waldo is? We found Waldo. Dr. Luke Bercelina appeared at the Council of Ministers press briefing today, Wednesday. Of course, during the press briefing, he said that he's been here since Thursday. He was just chilling while everybody was bitching. Like, what are you looking for me for? I'm not a GB mechanic. I can't go and fix GB. How you looking to me for? I hear. But it is important that we all come together. You see, it always comes back to that whole coming together and making sure that St. Martin continues to go into the right direction. Because on the 19th of August, it is important that you vote for the URSM, the capable people that keep your lights on. And do not forget, it was Duran. It was Duran's fault. I'm tired of that. Hey, listen, if somebody called Duran name one more time, yeah, but he was minister. Speaking about Duran, somebody tell MP Duran that I know he misses being in government, but just focus on legislation, please, sir. Please and thank you. Because he came out with a press briefing yesterday that had me dying. So, because GB going off and on all the time, he is suggesting for us to send the kids to the government administration building at the first floor so that they could do their homework. Sir, who's going to watch them? Who going to mind them kids? You didn't put out your suggestion. It's a good suggestion, but who going to mind them? Remember, we criticized the government building for putting on the lights during the night. So everybody, so all the kids, all 800, 900,000 people, just 1,000 kids, let's go to the government building. You don't want them to catch what the politicians have. They're already tough in school, and then they're going to get the, politicians' sickness. You get it? Because they lie all the time, so that means the kid's gonna. You understand? Okay, I'll be here all week. So when it comes to the suggestion, good suggestion, but execution-wise, maybe Stuart Johnson could come downstairs and watch them. Because he was a school manager. Get your head out of the gutter. My God. So he would be the most qualified school watcher to watch the kids. Okay, I'll stop while I'm ahead. Okay, so back to the press briefing. The Council of Ministers came and they came swinging. Of course, they are there to answer all the questions that everybody wants to know. Do we have a plan for GB? No. But we almost there, almost sort of kind of maybe tomorrow, next week, soon, maybe we gonna have GB fixed as soon as we meet with the people who are meeting about GEBE and the issues that we don't understand yet. You get it? Do you get it? I don't know. So, the question was asked, Prime Minister, do you have a plan, concrete plan, when it comes to fixing the issues of GB? Are we going to get Narnia generators? Are we going to get solar energy from the sun? Is Captain Planet or Superman coming to save us? What's happening? Clearly, Batman can't do it. We should give him a GB shirt and go and send him to the plant. Go, Lyndon, go fix it since you want to do everything. See Lyndon there like, somebody got to do it. I don't know. No. So, highlights of your Council of Ministers press briefing. I warned you from now. It's pretty long-winded. But we're going to start off with the Prime Minister, and then we'll come back.
At this particular moment, of course, the hot topic of our nation is our failure for energy supply for our country and our people. There is a threat to actually our safety and our livelihood at this particular moment with the insufficiency that we are encountering concerning our supply of energy to our people. I realize that very good. That is also the reason that I am not entertaining especially the negative powers that are trying in all ways to actually make sure that our solution-oriented approach will become a failure. We are now in a phase that we are even so far that we are entertaining actions in the society actually to promote failure of a basic security that we have to guarantee our people of our country. We are avoiding negative powers. We are looking for professional solutions that I will discuss with all of you. And we are, and you will realize that we are bypassing political rhetoric and political games because this government is realizing that we are in a situation that focus, commitment, and seriousness is of essence to solve the problems that we are in. As you know, there is an insufficiency in our capacity to supply the energy to our people, and we are now in the phase that solutions has to be presented on immediate, short-term, and long-term for Country St. Martin. And I dare to just open a little the options and possibilities that we are now contemplating to help our country out of this crisis. You have to realize that when we took over this government, there was already a backlog in actually deficiency in actions and decision making to guarantee continuity of energy supply for our country. This has been neglected for years by our authorities, and all of a sudden this government is now in a difficult reality with the country. We are not pointing the fingers, we just assume our responsibility, and we are just working hard to see if we can get short-term solutions ready for our crisis. You have to realize very good that we have to actually, in time span, we have to look for immediate solutions. Immediate solutions are solutions that has to be presented now for the coming 6 months. We have to look for mid-long, short-term solutions. The short-term solutions are solutions that also start now, but is going to reach until the 24 months, and we have the long-term vision and solution that actually starts as of now, but also reaches after the 2 years from now. So we have the immediate phase from now till 6 months. The short-term phase is actually from now, but especially starting in 6 months from now till 2 years. And the long-term vision is what can be done after stabilization of our situation, starting as of 2 years from now. We have been looking around for options and solutions. The first solution is the generator containers. That is what we are looking at. And there are 2 options for this generator container search. The first one is the option of just renting the containers. You rent those containers, they come on the island, you pay a monthly fee. Added to that the fuel price to it. And after the amount of period that you had a contract with this company, the containers will be recollected and they leave the island. The second option is that we lease the generator containers also, but in this case, we're going to make a deal in the context of lease to own. That is a second option that we are looking in, and we are quite far already in analyzing the options that we have, but this is the second one. I'm just going through the whole arsenal with you. The third option is the powerboat or the barge boat that we are bringing. And this barge boat is, of course, we have at this particular moment two of them in Santo Domingo. We have one in Guyana and we have one in Brazil. So we are negotiating with those companies that have these boats in the vicinity to see how we can get a agreement with them. The fourth option that we have is combining the barge boat, the power boat, with option one, being just barge boat combination rent of a container. And the fifth option is combine the rent-to-own container with the barge boat. It all comes down to when you are analyzing the approach to solve this problem, you have to realize it's not only costs for the generator and or the barge boat, etc. Your total financial picture that you need to solve this problem for the coming 2 years is that you have to realize that you have to have finance for containers, and I will explain why. Barge boat, I will explain why, the combination of both. Start ordering the big diesel generators that we are not now functioning and above the 30 years concerning their lifespan. And the fourth one is, what are we going to do once we stabilize the island? What is our vision plan for renewable energy and green energy for the country? Next to that, while we are taking those decisions, we have to invest and reorganize our infrastructure of our power plant. You cannot order 3 huge, expensive diesel generators and leave the plant as it is, and you do not have the infrastructure with security to make sure that you treat these very expensive units good for them to have a respectable lifespan too. Next to that, we are looking also to the possibility to build in a fuel farm to also give some sustainability in the nearby future. So it's about the boat, the generator container, start ordering the 3 diesel generators, reorganize the plant, look for the option for a fuel farm, and start working after 2 years, as of now already, but the accent after the stabilization phase for the future vision of alternative energy and green energy. They all go parallel with each other. It's not the one following up to the other. So your financial package, preparedness plan that you have to be very strong to deal with all these 5 to 6 pillars that I just mentioned. It's not that you just have money now, need money for generator containers. No, you have to have money to start on all fronts to get this going for over 2 years from now. To give you some example of what are we talking about in prices, these are options. I have my third, but I have had a lot of meetings already, official and unofficial, but 3 very official meetings I had already with GEBE. I had one on the 30th of May, one on the 7th of June, and I have tomorrow a third one, the 13th of June, for us to have a good total overview that we are well informed as shareholder rep of the GEBE, for us to take together a responsible decision for continuity of energy supply for our country. So tomorrow, the meeting of tomorrow that starts at 2 is a very important meeting that everybody is now finalizing their homework for us to be able to make a decision how we're going to move forward for the coming 2 years. We realize that there are not much options than what we presented. Our restriction, or what is critical for us, is all this has a financial picture. And we have to make sure as a country, once we take that decision, that we can carry on the responsibility for the continuity of payment to guarantee the people of St. Martin stability in energy supply. If you're talking about just renting containers, we are looking into even options till $500,000 a month. Imagine, it's big money we are talking about, while outside there's people are playing politics with this, and that's why this government is not entertaining the community melees that are going on, because this is a serious national matter, and we do not have time to play politics with what is going on. This is a serious national problem. If we go for the lease to own concept, it can be because we're trying this with the other company that wants to go with this formula for us. We are going to pay approximately a settlement in 36 months, where we're going to pay $200,000 per month. All the figures that I mentioned are figures, preliminary figures. Those definite figures are coming tomorrow. And we are talking here about exclusiveness of fuel consumption. So we didn't talk yet about the consumption of fuel to keep these containers going. If we choose for the containers, it's going to take approximately to get everything going 12 weeks, 3 months. You order them, they bring them to the island, we install them where they have to be on the plant of GEBE. Until you have everything going, you're going to start talking about functionality of generators for the country about approximately after 3 months after ordering. If everything goes good without, for example, intervention of a hurricane or a other surprise on the island. Because we cannot continue like this, we realize that we are in the hurricane season, and we are also realizing that the high season is coming. We decided that we have to have a much earlier solution for this problem, and that's why we're going to combine it with a powerboat. And a powerboat can be the moment we make a deal, settle, and do a down payment. We can have a powerboat here on the island in approximately 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. To get the boat only here cost us between 1 and 3 million US dollars just to get the boat on the coast here. We are talking again about serious amount of money. No time to play politics again. Sometimes they can do their best that we can get the boat here till 3 weeks after ordering. So the earliest we can get a powerboat as we decide to order is 3 weeks from now. Containers functional 3 months from now. And in that combination, we're going to try to install our containers, generator containers. We're going to disconnect them once they're functional. We're going to disconnect from the powerboat, give it back to the company, and we're going to continue with what we have on the plan that is functional, and then we're going to move forward with only the generators that assist us in our power supply. Next to that, we have to start thinking about financing of the 3 big units, like, for example, that we have here already, that every time, for example, at this particular moment, we have a big challenge with Unit 19 because the crankshaft is broken. Another challenge is, are we going to fix that old machine that is more than 30 years, that is going to cost us $2.5 million to change this crankshaft? Or are we going to do a heroic step and say it is what it is, and we're going to move on further with containers and start ordering, once our finance is at place, the 3 diesel generators. Each will be approximately 9 to 10 megawatt, so we will be able to have an extra supply of 3 times 9 is 27. The consumption in general that GB can guarantee us now is 40 megawatts, but in peak moments they need 57, so that means that we have constantly a threatening deficit of 17 megawatts for the island. Because of that, we have to think on additional energy supply through the containers and our power boat that can offer us 20 megawatt extra, because we are now in a deficit of 17 megawatt on a daily basis. And that's why we have to continue with this load shedding until big decisions are taken. The power boat costs us approximately $163 per megawatt per month. It's going to be $0.09 per kilowattuur. These are preliminary figures. The big day is tomorrow, but we have our media encounter briefing today. So I just want to give you some information to prove to you that we are seriously busy to solve this problem as soon as possible. The price for the containers fluctuates between the 0.04 and 0.07 till 0.09 dollar cents per kilowattuur, but average between 0.04 and 0.07 dollar cent per kilowattuur. And if you want to express it in big US dollars, it varies between the 30 to 52,000 US dollars per megawatt per month. We are talking again about big money. All of this can take place under one condition. There has to be, on governmental level, stability for investors to feel themselves comfortable to help us finance these huge projects for the nation. And the political arena of St. Martin has to understand it. I made a choice with my government not to go the political route of the political game entertainment, because this is too sensitive for the security of the livelihood of our people. So we are in our background doing our homework to get this going for the country. There has to be also continuity, and that is every time again investors negotiating with us are telling us, your governments are unstable for your country. Make also guarantee of continuity of good management of your power plant for your country if you want us to invest in it. Thirdly, our government have to play a buffer guarantee role in the background of all these loans negotiations, realizing that our country has its financial challenges too, especially realizing the state that we have encountered the country by initiating our phase of governing this country. And so we have to realize that we have to work on stability, tranquility, and peace in this country, instead of using the platforms for personal political gain, instead of working together to solve this national problem for country St. Martin. Where are we going to get the monies? That's another big challenge for St. Martin. We from the side of government, we are working on seeing what we can do with the capex of our budget of 2024 in this crisis situation. We will have to have a backup buffer function in all these negotiations as a government. We cannot stand as shareholder rep without showing our goodwill, intention, and responsibility to have some buffer offering to this negotiation table. We are also working with a consortium on national level consisting of banks and other institutional investors to see if we can get a group of people motivated, although all this negativism going on in our country, to get their trust and belief in the future of this country. We are negotiating with them at this particular moment too. I'm working also with two letters that I sent recently, one directed to the director of the country director of the World Bank, CCing all the stakeholders from the World Bank in, in which I send a letter to Mrs. Burun Sik. She is the country director for the Trust Fund World Bank for our trust fund. And I also sent a letter recently to Mrs. Van Huffelen as State Secretary of the Netherlands, because we are part of the Kingdom of the Netherlands and we are in a crisis situation. We are not in an emergency state, we are in a crisis situation. And I think that our partners in the kingdom should not only be informed, but I added a significant part of my letter to ask their attention to see if they can financially help us to finance the project that I was talking about just now to get the country back in stability and in balance concerning the energy supply for our people. 2 letters left, one for Van Huffelen. Of course, the BZK also is CC'd in it, and Mrs. Van Huffelen and the World Bank. Further, I would like to state to you that, of course, we have misused on political level in the past the financial capacity of our government-owned companies. But I said I'm not going to finger point and look back to the past. We have to move forward and come with solutions. But the situation of GB is that they have no outstanding debts that is promising for the negotiation table. And further, there are no significant accounts payable at this particular moment, no active overdraft facility at this particular moment. And these are great things that we should mention too. And then from there on, it's going to favor us in our negotiation with the potential financiers for this project. I think I have given a lot of essential information for you guys to realize what this government is doing to solve our problems. We are solution-oriented and we are avoiding politics at this particular moment, and everybody must realize that. Very good. The statement on the street is, we are not hearing enough from the Prime Minister. No, you are not, because the Prime Minister, for you to hear from him in this phase, is because then he is choosing to play political games, and the problems of the country now are too serious for that. So my attention now is totally focused to see how we're going to get this country going again. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Prime Minister Marcelina.
Yes. Will you give me 1 more second?
Sure.
Yes. We had yesterday a strike also, a small strike. It had to do with a big misunderstanding about the payment of a 7% vacation allowance for the civil servants. There is a misunderstanding about it. Most of the time when you approve your budget, the ombudsman gets 6 weeks to look into it. And the 6th week ends the 26th of June. And because that has to be approved first, then we get the green light that we can pay out the money in June. We have an obligation to pay the vacation allowance in June, that we can do, but we cannot do it before the 26th. That made, of course, that we had to make a choice to make sure that we assume our responsibility to pay, that we did. We're going to pay the first part, being the 6%, on the 14th of June. We're going to pay the salaries of the civil servants on the 25th. And we're going to make the day after the approval from the ombudsman for our budget, we're going to pay the 1% remaining, being 6% on the 14th plus 1% on the 27th. The civil servants are going to get their vacation allowance in the month of June, as has been agreed upon. Thank you very, very much.
I do hope that it was very educational and that from now on you will believe me, because all I have to do is slow down and say how much I love Sid Martin. The URSM is here for you. He's always say URSM. He doesn't say URSM. URSM. All right. Now, the Minister of TIAT, Krisha Heiliger Martin, she came in with a, like, oof. So you see the bus licenses that they gave out in 2023? She gonna review them and might pull it back. So people who like have a license plate right now with a B and a taxi, going like, yes, yes, up in National Alliance the best. Krisha gonna be like, no, 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 almost had it. Bring it back. Because I gotta give it to DP supporters. It's election time. Switcheroo. You get a plate. You get a plate. Everybody get a plate. Pete, please. Plates, plates, plates. Everybody. Okay, okay, I done. Krisha Hilliger-Martin, our Minister of Theatre, with the explanation as to why she's putting a stop to the already, there's a moratorium already on license plates, but she put in another stop on the moratorium, so it's going to be a double stop. Only St. Martin, let's go.
The past couple of weeks has been extremely challenging. Beyond the physical, social, and economic toll of the power outages and load shedding affecting us all, we're also contending with international repercussions. The recent travel advisory issued by the Government of Canada is particularly concerning for our government. The mention of island-wide power outages highlights the urgency of treating the GEBE situation as an emergency and resolving it without delay. We are currently in the process of conducting an economic impact study to help us develop measures that will provide relief to both the population and businesses. I can assure you that this situation has our utmost attention. I have met with the entire team of the St. Martin Tourist Bureau and received, that's just this week, and received feedback from our PR firms in the US and Canada, and we're all on top of the situation. But again, I would like to repeat my plea to the general public not to panic. St. Martin's security risk is still classified as green only. Canadian State Department by the Canadian State Department, and there is no classification by the US State Department. It is the lowest classification any destination can get, which means that travelers take the normal precautions as they would take at home. Aruba and Curacao has this same classification. And as I said before, we're trying to find out how all of this is affecting our tourism economy, and especially where it concerns bookings and cancellations. Summer is upon us already, and we will all do whatever it takes to make St. Martin the destination of choice for all. In this regard, I will be meeting with the St. Martin Hospitality and Trade Association, SHTA, this week and other stakeholders to fine-tune our strategy. That brings me to those videos about St. Martin that has gone viral on social media. We live in a world where bad news spreads faster than wildfire. We will continue to address the shortcomings that created the negativity in the first place. The path to resolving any problem is to first acknowledge that there is one. However, I can say without a doubt at all that St. Martiners are not racist, not by any stretch of that imagination. We are known as the friendly island for that reason. And we treat each other with respect, and we see each other as equals. And I would like to think that that experience the lady has narrated in the video is an isolated case. Nevertheless, we are working closely with the private sector and other tourism stakeholders to intensify training of the personnel, especially those who come in direct contact with tourists. We are in the service business, and we must improve not just our product, but our behaviors as well. On a different note, agriculture remains a priority for us. We are in the process of establishing a full-fledged functioning agriculture department within TIAT, and presently gathering all the necessary information to help us achieve this. As mentioned in the past, the delegation has traveled to Statia, and at that meeting, our representatives pledged for a more regional cooperation to achieve food security for St. Martin. A next delegation is scheduled to visit St. Kitts shortly to see how their agriculture sector works. But before then, I will be meeting with our own local farmers here to further discuss our challenges and seek ways to resolve them. Now I would like to address the current affairs regarding the bus and taxi licenses. On the Dutch side of St. Martin, we currently have 521 numbers active for taxi licenses and 264 bus licenses. Prior to September 2023, those numbers stood at 385 for taxis and 177 for buses. This jump in numbers can be attributed to licenses rapidly given out by the previous administration. It was reported that there was possible discrepancies in the manner in which these licenses were issued. To understand what has taken place, the issuance process is under review by the Department of Legal Affairs. When this is completed, I would have a better understanding and overview of how things were handled and what corrective measures, if any, are required. In the interim, we have decided, based on good and responsible governance, to place the issuance of licenses on hold. This is done for two reasons. We are in the slow season period of the year, and this allows us time to put a proper policy in place and on the issuance of bus and taxi licenses. Why is a policy so important, one may ask? Historically, issuing licenses has been a political reward during elections. This process, however, should be fair and transparent. My goal, or our goal as a cabinet, is to establish a straightforward yet comprehensive policy with clear step-by-step instructions for issuing permits. This policy will serve as a consistent guideline for both the present and the future. And finally, I am pleased to announce that Go Local XL, previously known as Cope Avon, will take place on the July 4th to August 1st this year. This initiative aims to boost entrepreneurship, revive Phillipsburg, and create a vibrant lifestyle, culture, shopping, and entertainment experience for both locals and tourists. Integrated into hotel activities, it offers an additional event for visitors to enjoy. We encourage businesses on the boardwalk, Front Street, and Back Street to get creative with specials and promotions for both the locals and visiting customers. Extra Tight Entertainment first introduced this program in 2018 to the Ministry of Tourism, Economic Affairs, Traffic, and Telecommunication. Since then, it has been a celebrated platform for showcasing local products, foods, and talents, especially during the summer. On behalf of the Ministry of TIAT, I encourage all businesses to participate in the Go Local XL, now rebranded as Go Local Summer Nights. The event will take place on Thursdays from July 4th, as mentioned before, to August 1st from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. on the boardwalk. Go Local Summer Nights aims to stimulate activities in the Phillipsburg, attracting both tourists and locals, support local vendors to providing a platform for showcasing their crafts, their cuisines, and locally produced products, boost economic activities by encouraging local spending, and foster community spirit and pride by revitalizing town centers and promoting interaction between residents and visitors. We expect at least 50 vendors each Thursday, offering a lively and diverse experience for all attendees. Let's work together to make this Go Local Summer Night a success.
Okay, the rest of the ministers did speak, but you have to wait here until we come back. Stop it. I can't give you all the good stuff right away. Welcome to the Late Night Show. We have a good one for you. Let's begin.
At GEBE, we take the safety and quality of your water seriously. Every day, our dedicated sample collectors venture into the field, visiting the places that matter to you: water tanks, school, supermarkets, home, and high-risk areas. Once these samples return to our water quality lab at KB, they embark on a journey that safeguards your well-being. Our dedicated analysts take over, sending these samples to the microbiology and chemistry department, respectively. This is where the magic happens. We test for a range of parameters, and we do this every single day, no matter what, including holidays and weekends. In our microbiology department, we focus on 2 major tests targeting various bacteria. Confirmation tests are conducted, and we have plans in place in case the results are confirmed. And then we do it all over again, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Rain or shine, your water safety never takes a day off. So when you turn on the tap and enjoy a glass of GEBE's water, you can do so with confidence. GEBE, the power to serve.
At SXM, we're taking travel and tourism to new heights. Here we boast spacious check-in areas, 10 passport control points, comfortable departure lounges, and an exciting new airport mall. Finally, there's an airport in the Caribbean that takes your travel plans as seriously as you do. Princess Juliana International Airport. The experience will move you.
And I fall on my knees. Tell me how to wait to be. Tell me how to wait for. Tell me all that I should know.
Great job, Carl. Thank you. Jeremy, come on up. For the final word in the Spelling Bee Championship, please spell insurance.
Insurance. N-A-G-I-C-O. Insurance.
That's correct. I hope your father can spell Najiko too.
Najiko is insurance. Insurance is Najiko.
I have noticed an increase in gun violence recently. As I strive to think solution-oriented, this will be one of the topics brought in the upcoming YAVIO, which I will be attending in the Netherlands. With our Kingdom partners, we are looking into introducing a program focusing on youth crime, prevention and intervention for the youth displaying alarming behaviors before becoming criminals, helping them to mediate and supporting them to make a better decision. I'd like to also move on with the management and supervision of the Crime Fund. Upon taking office on May 3rd, 2024, I noted that there was no formal structure, particularly for no formal financial administration, personal or policy regarding the management and the supervision of the crime funds. In fact, there was no clear answer to the amount in the funds remaining and how they have been used. However, legislation for the improvement of this is on the way as measures and action point in the country package, and the necessary groundwork for implementation is being completed. A date will be scheduled later this week for the presentation of the new draft legislation to myself and the Minister of Finance. This will be a positive signal regarding the ministry's commitment to improving the crime fund. So the groundwork includes a draft policy plan, training, onboarding of the software for financial administration, and the establishment of an oversight committee. I'm going to turn to the topic where I have weekly walk-ins for civil servants and public grievances. Although my day-to-day schedule is extremely busy, I have been doing my best to keep my word regarding my open door policy to the public, especially justice workers and workers of the Ministry of ECYS. I believe in this policy to help restore faith in the ministries and the government and to be motivated to operate within their function to their utmost capability with continuing to contribute positively to the community of our country. The reinstatement of justice workers, both administrative and frontline. It is no secret that one of the first decisions I made upon taking office as Minister of Justice was to declare all justice workers on sick leave, extraordinary leave, or those denied access to report back to work immediately. I also gave the opportunity to anyone who felt they should still be off duty to present their reasons. Up until recently, I have continued to do so, and I have reinstated a few more individuals who were off duty for various reasons. Up until today, I had 3 officers that was home for a very long time that presented themselves since Monday and today at the police organization. I personally, before sending them back to work, sat one-on-one with everyone who respectfully requested reinstatement and discussed the expectations of the minister and, by extension, the ministry itself. I also made it clear to each and one of those officers, including other employees and being civil servants, not officers, that we have taken an oath to uphold the integrity of this country. I understand that in the previous administration, in discussions with management teams, that they themselves did send on the documentation, be it either for mediation or immediate removal of those officers. I'm here to say that there are procedures and guidelines within the police rules and regulations, the LMR, and if those are not adhered to, I am going to follow everything within the guidelines of the law. In saying so, I mean, because a lot of people may put bad apples in the newspaper, they might talk about, oh, everyone is accused of doing something. Everyone's integrity was also questioned, including mine as a civil servant. So today, I'm not going to stand here and tell you that these individuals are bad apples. What I have seen is only reports. Reports where one is saying something about the other. That is not facts. So when I make a decision based on review, based on consideration of my staff, and also I take into consideration what management team has also presented. Some may also be going through a criminal process. When one is removed from their position or their job, it is especially because they work into the department that is investigating them. I have seen, for instances, and already queried it within the kingdom, where it's not necessary to remove a person completely from the job and just stay home getting pay. But if the person is being investigated by the department that they are working in, it is essential to remove that person from the job. So I'm taking into consideration that we are paying people every single month, and it is good that you can remove them into another position where they don't have any influence on the internal investigation. When one is removed completely from the job, it is because they are directly in contact with individuals or administration processes on the job. I'll go further to say, also regarding to batch 6 of the national decrees are booked in today by the Secretary General, which should include about 25 national decrees, and also 6 ministerial decrees for members of the arrest team were also booked in. The last 3 police classes, their national decrees will also be submitted in 7 days. Thank you. I would like to go on now. That's good. I'd also like to go on now to my next ministry as the minister responsible for education, culture, youth, and sports. And it is my duty to address an issue that has recently come to light. An issue that strikes at the very heart of the safety and trust we place in our school transportation system. Today, I issue a stern warning to all school bus drivers. Your primary responsibility is to ensure the safety and security transportation of our students that are leaving from our schools, to and from schools. I want to make this abundantly clear. Predatory conduct will not be tolerated. I'm getting too many reports of sexual harassment directed towards students by the school bus drivers. Let me be explicit. This behavior is utterly unacceptable. In the span of just a few weeks, I have received 3 complaints with indications that more may exist. While many of these reports detail verbal harassment, one particularly alarming incident involved a bus driver taking a student into an alley. This kind of behavior will result in severe consequences, including prosecution. I will be calling for an urgent meeting with school bus operators, with the ministry officials on Saturday upcoming to discuss this issue. I have recently signed this invitation to the individuals. Invitations will be sent today to the school bus operators. School bus drivers must maintain the highest standard of professionalism and ethics while performing their duties. Parents trust that when they send their children on a school bus, they are placing them in a safe environment. These recent reports of misconduct are a violation of that trust and affront to the integrity of our school transportation system. We cannot and will not allow this to continue. Thorough investigations are underway. Any bus driver found guilty of such misconduct will face prosecution to the fullest extent of the law. Furthermore, suspensions and contract terminations will follow if bus contractors fail to address and rectify such behavior within their ranks. Let me be clear. We have a zero tolerance for any form of harassment or predatory behavior towards students. Those responsibilities will be held accountable. We owe it to our children and their families to ensure that our school buses are a safe haven, not a source of fear. I urge parents to report any suspicious inappropriate behavior towards their children immediately. Your vigilance is crucial in helping us maintain a safe environment for all students. The school busing. On the topic of school busing, I am happy to also announce that the Department of Education is finalizing the service level agreement with the busing operators. We are also looking at implementing the fleet management system, and all other related matters are also being discussed. While government departments and personnel are committed in doing their utmost, more can and will be done to enhance the school bus safety. We will enforce strict policies governing the conduct of school bus drivers and the operation of school transportation services. This includes ensuring that all school bus drivers undergo thorough background checks and receive training, and we will establish a regular monitoring system to oversee the conduct of school bus drivers. I would like to go on to the topic of Flag Day. Tomorrow, June 12, is Flag Day, and I would like to encourage one and all to their flag, St. Martin flag high and with pride. The people and the government of St. Martin will be commemorating the 39th anniversary of Flag Day. At the grounds of the Mary Genevieve, the Weaver School in the Hope Estate, just to note, I did 6 years at the Mary Genevieve, the Weaver, so that is my school. The annual commemoration of Flag Day will begin at 8:30 with the Patriotic School Parade, which commences in front of the Nika supermarket on the Sucker Garden Road and goes towards the Phillipsburg, turns left at the entrance of Hope Estate, and goes directly to the Mary Genevieve School parking lot. Let's make our 39th Flag Day a truly memorable one. Thank you.
Okay, you're still here? Okay, good. Listen, so press briefing. question and answers, the rest of the presentation from the ministers. It was interesting. Sit back, relax. It's press briefing day. Let's go.
However, what I didn't hear is when a decision is going to be taken as to which of the multiple choices that you have outlined. You did say tomorrow is a meeting.
Yes.
But then
There's a
we
third
would like
one.
to know when exactly a decision will be taken as to where we go from here.
Yes. The idea is that we have a third meeting tomorrow in which all stakeholders had to do their homework. They're coming back with all factual information tomorrow. Also, the financial status right now of GEBE. And from there on, we are far advanced in our negotiation with potential financiers for this project. The decision, what has to be done, is that there is no choice then that this decision has to be taken. The only thing that we have to make sure is that once we press the green button to start with the puzzle that you spoke about, is that we can carry that financial responsibility for the country. And we are waiting, of course, on all the stakeholders. Also the reaction, for example, of the letter that I wrote to Mrs. Van Huffelen, in which I'm asking the Dutch government to, for example, look into the possibility for us to get financial assistance from the SDE++, the Groeifonds, the Growth Fund, for example, and also the Fund for Small and Middle Businesses in the Netherlands. These are in the European Bank, so we have some options that needs to react to our request, but actually a decision has to be taken, and I think it's difficult to give a time span because everybody will keep me to that time span that I will say or not say. But for me, that decision had to be taken yesterday, seeing the crisis situation of the country, and every day is a day too long for me. So I want to take the decision as soon as possible, but I need the right figures, the right guarantees, make sure that everybody is on board for us to take a responsible decision. And in the coming 3-4 weeks, something has to happen for us to make sure that we start on the project of the 2 years that I explained just now.
Another clarification I'd like to ask. In your letter to the union last night,
Yes.
you said the covenant will be fully respected. Or
Yes,
will
of
be
course.
respected.
Yes.
In that covenant, it spoke of the COLA, which is cost of living adjustment. Can you tell us if that too will be paid?
It's going to be paid, of course, but it all has to do with the approval of the amended budget for 2024. But the sanctity of the covenant that has been signed on the 29th of April will be respected. There is no other choice. A covenant is a covenant. The moment a government starts to undermine signed covenants with its people, it's going to bring big distrust in the future of this country. We cannot do that. And it's all about continuity of governance, although it has been signed by the former government, although they didn't do the total homework to get it going now, no problem. We're going to assume again our responsibility and make sure that we don't touch the sanctity of the covenant.
What did we learn today, kids? St. Martin is still not a real place. I'll say it for you. I know you were thinking it. I'll just say it. Now, thank you so much for watching. Of course, until tomorrow, do have a safe and pleasant one. Bye-bye.